Hey guys, I'm IzDaisho and I'm here bringing you another draft. And this was one of my more favorite drafts. I got to draft a color combination that I'm a huge fan of right now, Izzet. And I really just, every time I draft Izzet, I enjoy the deck and I think it's fun. I open a Shockland, so I'm just going to take that because I like money, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to draft a card that's worth more than or equal to the draft, but I do take a look at the pack anyway, and I just take a nice little glance through it, or whatever. Anyway, I also enjoyed this draft because there was a lot of decisions that I made, and I honestly think a lot of them were wrong, and it's pretty cool to go over it and see which decisions I made, which were right, which were wrong. So this pack isn't really too powerful. There's no card that jumps out at me as the best card in the pack or anything. I end up taking a Hover Barrier over basically an Eyes in the Skies, and I thought of a Trestle Troll and a Bluster Squall, I think. Is that a Trestle Troll? That might not even be a Trestle Troll. There's also a Grim Roustabout, which is okay. But it was really between the Hover Barrier and the Bluster Squall. And I think, in the end, the Bluster Squall would have been better in my deck because I ended up making an Izzet deck, and Bluster Squall is really good in the Izzet deck. But Hover Barrier is kind of like a more powerful card. So right here, I see that there's an Annihilating Fire and a Street Spasm still in this pack, as well as I think, is it Static Acid? No, I don't know what that card is. But Annihilating Fire and a Street Spasm still in the pack, so I think that's a pretty good signal that red is open, so I can jump into Izzet. I don't really care too much about the Hallowed Fountain because I can either use it to splash or just take it, pocket it later, whatever, no big deal. So I take the Street Spasm here over the Annihilating Fire. I'm not sure which one's better. I think I might take Annihilating Fire now, but I figured Street Spasm is less mana intensive, and I think Street Spasm's probably better in the Goblin Electromancer deck. If you have a couple of those out, then it becomes cheaper. And the one thing that I think that I completely changed my opinion of as of now comparatively to before is Pursuit of Light. That card I thought was like average at best and marginally playable, but now I think it's extremely playable, and I pretty much want at least one copy in any of my Izzet decks. It just helps push damage through so efficiently that it's a really good card. But here's another Pursuit of Light. I think it's like Goblin Electromancer pretty convincingly here. And I think I end up tabling so much because I'm pretty sure I'm the only Izzet drafter. At least in the first couple packs, I'm the only Izzet drafter. Then I think the guy to my left actually took a couple of Izzet cards. I'm not sure why, but I mean, I did pass that Annihilating Fire, so that could be a signal that red's open. So I think I was trying to put him in Rakdos maybe, and Rakdos and Izzet don't really share too many cards because I think Rakdos relies more on the red cards and the black cards as opposed to the red-black cards. Whereas Izzet relies mostly on the red-blue cards. So that's why I think Izzet is one of the better things, just because all the cards in Izzet are just so good. But here, there's not too much. I think there's a Cobble Brute and a Transguild Promenade. Cobble Brute's actually surprisingly good because it's a four mana dude who has 5 power, and he can just get in so efficiently. So I really like that. When you play your stuff like Chemister's Trick to make them attack and tap out, and Bluster Squall to tap all their creatures, or Teleportal to get your creatures in, any of those 3 cards really work well with Cobble Brute. If you can put a Pursuit of Light on a Cobble Brute, he just becomes an insane threat. And even without that, it just forces them to play such that they can't just take one hit from your creatures. They have to actually deal with you. So here there's a Steal Our Secrets and an Inspiration, and I think it's pretty close, but the fact that I already have a Goblin Electromancer and I'm still in the first pack and it's a common allows me to believe that I could easily have 2, and if you can ever cast Inspiration for 3 mana or even 2, it just becomes pretty sweet. I really wish that Divination was in the set instead. It would be so much better with Goblin Electromancer. If you could Divinate for 1 mana like consistently, that'd be awesome. Here there's a Dynacharge, a Paralyzing Grasp, and a Transguild Promenade, as well as a Tenement Crasher. So, or no, that's not a Transguild Promenade, is it? I don't know. It might be. I can't even tell. So there's a couple of cards. Yeah, it is a Transguild Promenade. So there's actually 4 cards here that I'm considering taking. I end up taking the Paralyzing Grasp, and I'm not sure if that's good. It might be good because it's some removal in a deck. Is a deck that doesn't really have removal. And yeah, it's pretty good. So here it's between an Essence Backlash, and a Crosstown Courier, and I know that I can wheel and table Crosstown Couriers later, so I don't have to worry about picking them up now. I don't want more than like 3, and I won't run more than 3, but I will run 2. I will run 2 or 3 in my deck. And right here I get the Bluster Squall back, so that was pretty awesome in my opening pack, or not my opening pack, my second pack, because my opening pack was the Hallowed Fountain one. And then here, yeah, it was an Izzet Staticaster that I ended up tabling, so that was also pretty cool. It was like 5th to last pick. It was really sweet. And then again, I'm just tabling card after card after card. Here is the Conjured Currency, which made it back, which is, I mean, it's a relevant sideboard card, or if you don't have enough playables, then it's a relevant card, because generally the best thing they can take from you is like your 2/1, and you can take their biggest creature or their best creature out. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to say about that pack. I ended up getting 2 like non-playable last picks, and then here I guess I have to explain this to you because I end up showing this card to everyone. But Cryptborn Horror is just a joke between me and a couple of my friends, because one of my friends just always opens terrible cards, and we joke that he's opened like 35 Cryptborn Horrors. But anyway, it's not really a relevant card for anyone, so I don't think it's too big of a deal. But there's a bunch of nothing, a Pursuit of Flight, which is okay, a Rune Wing, which is okay, and this Splatter Thug. So I'm just going to basically slam the Splatter Thug, and it's exactly what I want to be doing. It's an aggressive creature that has power and can really help with my my plan of just Bluster Squalling them and then killing them. So here's a Chaos Imps, which is just an absolute gift. My opponent, I guess my neighbor to my left didn't end up seeing that Annihilating Fire is a big enough signal, because otherwise he definitely would have jumped into it, because Chaos Imps is just one of the best cards you can get. And here is the, I think where I made the biggest mistake of the draft. I ended up taking the Augur Spree over the Void Wielder. I believe I have 1 Transguild Promenade so far, and I figured that a removal spell was really good, and I don't know why I figured that, but for whatever reason, I think that it's just best to take the Augur Spree here. And Void Wielder is just a really powerful card. I would have much rather had a Void Wielder in my deck than even an Augur Spree, especially since I really don't like splashing, and I just don't see the point, especially since I have so many powerful cards. And I know that it's going to be a draft where I'm tabling a lot, so I'm going to have playables. I won't need to scrounge for them to get this Augur Spree, and I think Void Wielder is just a really powerful card. I think I just didn't see Void Wielder as being so powerful. And here's another decision where I'm not really sure if I made the right one. I really was high on Frostburn Weird and low on Splatter Thug at this time, and I think I might be in the same boat now, but I don't know. I took the Frostburn Weird over the Splatter Thug, so that really could have gone either way, but they're both really efficient and good blue/red creatures. And right here, there's really nothing for me. I ended up taking the Crosstown Courier, because Izzet Kirun is really just not a card in my opinion. It's not worth running, while Crosstown Courier is. And I can't remember if this is my first or my second one. I think it might be my second. But here there's a couple of Izzet cards. There is there's a Chemist's Trick and a Steal Our Secrets and a Crosstown Courier, and but there's a Syncopate, and I think that's a lot better. It's really cool with Goblin Electromancer, that interaction. It works out really well, I think. And then here's just an absolute gift, a Thought Flare this late. I can't remember what pick it is, but I mean, it's unsurprising, because I recognized in pack 1 that I was the only Izzet drafter, so definitely not terribly surprised. Here there's a couple of cards that I can take. I believe that is a Cobble Brute, a Cancel, and a Tenement Crasher. I really don't like counter magic too much in Limited. I think that it's just such a blowout if they end up not playing a card, and then, like, so if they're beating you on board and you just hold back turn 3 for the cancel and they don't play something, then you don't even get a card out of it. You just have this card stuck in your hand and you're losing on board. So I really don't like it. And here is where I think the biggest mistake of the draft was: take a Rune Wing over Pursuit of Flight, and Rune Wing's just not very good, while Pursuit of Flight is. And then I wheel the Goblin Electromancer, which is cool. There was also a Steal Our Secrets and another Pursuit of Flight in that pack, but I would definitely take the Goblin Electromancer yet again. And I probably should have taken the Batterhorn here, but I took the foil planes, so just because I felt like it, I guess. It's really funny because, well, I guess I won't spoil the ending of the draft, but anyway, here there's 3 cards that are actually pretty playable. Street Sweeper not too much, but Grim Roustabout and Druid's Deliverance definitely are playable, so I just take Grim Roustabout because I figure it's the most playable. And I tabled the Izzet Kirun, so that's pretty cool. Nobody wanted it, and it's just not very good anyway, so yeah, I also tabled this Crosstown Courier, so now I think I have 2 Crosstown Couriers and 2 Electromancers, so that's really about as much. I might want like 1 more 2-drop, and here, open and ash sell it. And again, another mistake in the draft. I mean, I'm keep illustrating all these mistakes in the draft, but I think that the draft was still overall pretty solid, just because there was nobody else in IzIt, so it was really helpful. I was tabling whatever I needed. So even a lot of these hard decisions, I end up taking one, and then the other one comes back. So I take the Ash Zealot here. I think I probably should have taken the Explosive Impact. I already do have the Chaos Imps at 6, but I don't, and Conjured Currency, which I'm probably not going to run, or not planning on running, but... Because, like, if you drop a Conjured Currency and then you draw your Chaos Imps a couple turns later, you're like, can't really cast this. But there's also, like, a Vassal Soul and Inspiration, Trader's Instinct in this pack. I think Ash Zealot's better than everything except for Explosive Impact, and I probably should have taken Explosive Impact. But, no big deal. I still ended up with an Ash Zealot, which is okay. Here I'm just shipping around a Wild Beastmaster, so whenever you see one, usually two Wild Beastmasters, especially if one of them's in the first pack, then you know that somebody could be going all in on Wild Beastmaster, and you want to be taking the downsizes if you're in blue, because for those of you who don't know the interaction, if Wild Beastmaster's power becomes negative, if you give it a -4, -0 or something like that, then all of their creatures will get -X, where X is his power, so they'll get -4, and they'll just die. So that's it's just a really funny interaction. Here I think I make another mistake. So I already have the Transfield Promenade and the Augur Spree, so if I want to, I can splash for red, or for black rather, to play the Augur Spree. And then here I end up taking the Arrest over some playable cards. I take it over a Splatterthug and a Goblin Electromancer. So, I mean, I could have basically had another Splatterthug in my deck, which would have been pretty sweet. But instead I decided to take the Arrest. And, I mean, it's easier to splash since I already have the Hallowed Fountain, as opposed to not having any Rakdos Guild Gates or anything. I think I have one Transguild Promenade, but I don't really need a splash in this deck. I have enough removal and some pretty just powerful cards. I guess I don't really have too much removal. Like, Arrest is easily going to be the best removal spell in my deck after if I take it, but it's really not too much upside over Augur Spree, and I could have taken a pretty good card from my deck. So I end up getting another Izzet Charm, which is awesome, more removal. Izzet Charm's just a really good card in Limited because it's removal and it can cycle itself if you needed to. In like late game, it basically just says draw 2 cards because you can just discard 2 useless lands. And here's another thing that I think I would change right now. It just goes to show you how much my opinions have changed. Although this one is actually an interesting choice because Gora's Chainwalker is a minor upgrade over a Crosstown Courier. It's a little bit better in that it can get through like a Centaur or trade with a Centaur or something like that, whereas Crosstown Courier can't at 2-drop. But I did take an Inaction Injunction, which does something unique. It does something different. I think what I was probably thinking is half the time it's just going to be blue for draw a card, detain a creature, because I'm running like 2 Electromancers, maybe even 3 at this point. I know I end up with 3, but I think I only have 2 at this point. So here's a Doorkeeper and an Electrickery. I take the Doorkeeper just in case I have to play against an aggro matchup. I think Doorkeeper is actually particularly good in this deck because I want to be just sitting behind. I'm very happy to be sitting behind walls and then just eventually swinging in for the win once I can draw Bluster Squall or Teleportal or something like that. So here I take Izzet Guildgate because I want to make my mana a lot better because I know that I'm going to be splashing. So Izzet Guildgate really helps for that because if I draw a hand where I have my off-color card, like let's say I'm running a Plains and I have a Plains and it is a Guildgate, then I can actually keep that, where if I had a Plains and a blue, then I might not be able to. But here I get like a 7th pick Teleportal, and that's just the greatest feeling ever when you just see a card that's so good for you. And yeah, it was just amazing. There was another draft that I did where my opponent, or the guy to my right passed me a Mercurial Chemister first, so he knew that I was going to be in Izzet and he was going to be in green-white because he first picked AV Jugazi Guild Mage. And then late, again, it was like late in 3rd pack or something like that, there was a really, really late Teleportal and he just nommed it because he knew I was in Izzet, and then we ended up playing, and it was, I think I ended up still winning because I got lucky. But anyway, here I take an Essence Backlash over Mizium Skin. I think that was pretty wrong. I really would have liked a Mizium Skin for my sideboard, especially in this deck. I think that would have been a lot better than just another Essence Backlash, which I don't even think I'm going to run the first one. So, Survey the Wreckage here, and then last pick, random card. Last pick, Downsize. So there you go, Downsize for the Wild Beastmaster. Hope you guys enjoyed the draft. Come back for the games. Have a nice day. Bye.